typically it's going to just maybe set you back a little bit. And maybe in the past, we would use that as a reason of why we're not going to be able to follow through with our commitments, whether it's hitting the gym, training, or going to bed on time because you have to stay up late figuring this out. Like, everybody knows that you don't operate at a better level when you're staying up late at night. Welcome to the VetRise Podcast. I'm your host, Juan Perez. My goal is to make success after service accessible to every veteran in society. I believe in the power of leveraging your service, not as a label that defines you, but as a launching pad for your next chapter. What we have been doing has not been working, and it's on us to start changing the culture. Enjoy the episode, and thank you for your time. We're going to be talking about how to not sweat the small stuff, why the little things cannot stop you from doing the big things in life. And the reason why I actually wanted to talk about this today, the reason why this is the topic that I really want to tackle, it's a lot to do with the fact that everyone here is winning. Like, you guys are making all sorts of changes, all these accomplishments, all these victories. And it's important to understand that when you can get to that point where maybe in the past you would typically stop yourself, you would make an excuse, you would tell yourself, well, this is why I can't do this. When it's typically more than likely not an emergency. We just make it an emergency. We catastrophize it. It's typically likely something that can wait until tomorrow or the day after, or even next week. It's going to just maybe set you back a little bit. And maybe in the past, we would use that as a reason of why we're not going to be able to follow through with our commitments, whether it's hitting the gym, training, or going to bed on time because you have to stay up late figuring this out. Like, everybody knows that you don't operate at a better level when you're staying up late at night, thinking that you're going to solve life's problems. When you decide that instead of the nutritional meal that you made for yourself, the stuff that you actually committed to actually making on your time, you tell yourself that, oh, well, I'm just going to get some pizza and, get a couple of beers to feel better for myself. Like, in the past, we can all think about situations where something would happen and the little thing would be the reason why we don't do the big thing. And I want to acknowledge the fact that there are so many people here that no longer allow that to be their norm. And the reason why we're talking about this today is just I am working, helping, training, coaching, mentoring all of you to become leaders and be able to be the people that inspire, mentor, teach, coach, help, train other people. You're not going to be here forever. And I'm not going to hold stuff back from you so you guys feel like you need me. I don't want any of you to need me. I want you guys to want to be here because you get freaking amazing value. But I also want you guys to be able to step into your own freaking leadership position in life. And leadership positions can look like a lot of different things. It doesn't have to be an actual leadership position. It might mean that you lead your life the way you need to lead your life. And we have to acknowledge that in the past, when something would happen, we would use it as an excuse of why we're not going to follow through with what we said we were going to follow through. We talked a couple of weeks ago about celebrating every single win. This is a win. This is a win because now your status quo, your baseline, your expected response to things is no longer to allow those little things that happen to be the reason why you don't make it to the gym, to be the reason why you binge eat at night and stay up till 2 a.m. instead of following through with what you said you were going to do and going to bed on time and following your new habits and your new routines and staying consistent. Because we have to take into account that when something small happens, and I don't care what it is, I don't even care if it's you losing your job, and that could feel huge, right? But here's the reason why it's not. Life is going to life. Things are going to happen, bad stuff or good stuff. It's just stuff. How we respond to it says everything about who we are and what we are working towards. Because when things happen, whether it's something that you deem to be terrible, like losing your job or losing a loved one, do you make adjustments or do you just let it derail everything? Let's just say that my tire pops on the way to the gym. Guess what? I'm not going to make it to the gym, right? But I'm not going to sit there and wallow in anger and pity and frustration and anxiety when none of those feelings really serve a purpose. They're not going to make you think more clearly about what to do. They're not going to help you respond properly and make sure that you call whoever you have to call or figure out the situation. They're not going to allow you to look at your calendar and be like, all right, you know what? I'm going to miss my gym today, but thankfully tomorrow's Tuesday. I have a 2-hour block right here. All right, I'm going to just move my workout for tomorrow, Tuesday. It's simple. It took me less than a minute. So in the past, when we would respond or react when things would happen to us with anxiety, frustration, anger, resentment, all those feelings should not be popping up as much as they used to. And if they're not, like, take a moment and acknowledge that. Because let's just say that you take time on Sunday and you plan out your perfect week and you tell yourself, I'm going to do this on Monday and this Tuesday and this Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then Tuesday comes along and life throws something at you. Maybe when you were at work, your coworker didn't show up, so you had a lot more work that day. And you had a gym session planned for after work. Guess what's going to make you feel better? Option A, you wallow in self-pity and you woe is me and you're, oh, this is unfair and oh, this always happens and oh my God, I'm so tired and angry. I just want to go home and eat pizza and drink and eat a pint of ice cream in front of the TV. And then what happens? Well, it's 1 a.m. and you stayed up way too late. It's 1 a.m. and you didn't go to bed when you were supposed to. And then you start to feel anger and resentment towards yourself because you know that you dropped the ball for yourself, nobody else. The other person is not going to feel anything from this, you do. Or option B, you tell yourself that you are going to do what is required of you, that this is not going to derail your life, that other people don't get to control what you do. And you still drive to the gym. And maybe it's not the best workout. Maybe it's not the best workout that you've ever had. Maybe you don't hit any PRs. But you still went. And you still did it. And you're still going to feel better afterwards. And guess what? Having that courage to do what you know you need to do because you know it's going to help you. It's not about, oh, I have to do this because, it's just, I have to. No, it's because you know you're going to feel better afterwards. Having the courage and having the confidence afterwards, maybe not initially, having the confidence after you still go to the gym when everything is falling apart around you, even though it's not, you leave and you have a little more confidence. You leave and you have a little more clarity to think about what is it that I'm going to do, if anything. Not all situations require a response. What is it you're going to do about what happened? Do you need to speak up about it? Do you need to have a conversation with someone? Do you need to make any phone calls? Do you need to make adjustments to your calendar? Do you have to look at your finances to make sure that you can budget properly to fits the tire if it's the tire? Like whatever you have to do in response to what happened, it can always wait an hour or two. There are less emergencies than we actually make out to be. Even real emergencies, when they happen, typically, we all know, because of our training, because of our past, sometimes you have to assess the situation. You have to look at everything from a detached point of view. All right, let's stop for a minute. This is the part of the episode where I ask you to do me a favor. But it's not a favor for me. It's a favor for your fellow brothers and sisters that served with you. If you know someone that has been struggling, if you know someone that has been going through it right now, and you know that they want better for their life, they just don't know how to do it, please share this episode with them. It might just be exactly what they need. That's it. That's my only ask. If you want to subscribe, I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. Back to the episode. There's a story in Jocko's book, Extreme Ownership, where he talks about they were doing a training exercise. And they were doing VBSSS, where they're taking over a ship, or VBBS, whatever. I'm so detached from the military at some points that I forget acronyms. And guess what? That's okay. It doesn't even matter that much. Cool. I'm not in. I don't have to know them. And everybody around him came upon this obstacle, and no one knew what to do. And he raised his rifle. He took a step back. He literally detached from what he was doing, and he was able to see things from a different perspective, and he made a call. Sometimes in those emergencies, you need to detach, take a moment, take a step back, and assess the situation. And if you can do that when there is something that you deem to be an emergency, imagine how much better you can do it when there is something that is really not an emergency. And I really want you to ask yourself, what is and what's not an emergency? Like, what requires immediate attention? I think we live in an era where we are conditioned to answer our phone as soon as someone calls us, to reply to a text message as soon as our phone dings or vibrates, to feel like we have to go on social media and comment and reply and post stuff. And we don't. You can take a moment. You can take a pause. You can take a moment to decide, is this important enough for me to reply to? Can this wait? Does this even require a response? Or maybe it's a situation that you keep finding yourself in because you keep replying. People eventually will get tired of replying to you or messaging you if you no longer reply, if you no longer give them the time of day. So as you guys are going through your day-to-day, and you are very good at identifying the bad stuff because like we talked about, if it bleeds, it leads. Negativity will always draw more attention because fire consumes air. And you will always have a much stronger reason to look for the bad stuff in life because we can immediately identify what it is. If I ask you right now, what's something bad that happened to you last week? Like, you can probably think about something, right? But it's a lot harder to identify the positive stuff. Well, why is that? Well, when things are going well, we don't stop to reflect on why they're going well. We just kind of enjoy it, and that's okay. But I want you guys to think about the way that you have changed your specific kind of standards. The things that used to throw you off. The things that would derail your progress. The things that would make you want to stay up till 2 a.m. binge eating. The things that would make you want to skip your workout. They're not as important as they used to be. In fact, a lot of you probably have left a lot of your issues behind. A lot of your baggage behind. We only carry baggage with us if we carry it. It's not attached to us. Who has left some stuff in the past that's no longer dragging them down anymore? Whether it's people, friends, situations, the way that you talk to yourself, the things that you do, old habits, bad habits, the way that you used to stay up late, maybe you're drinking, smoking. Like, who has been able to leave some of that stuff in the past? If you feel like you have, I'm proud of you. And if you didn't raise your hand, guess what? You have. You just haven't identified it yet. And one of the things that I talk about is that we have to identify the wins. We have to celebrate what we're doing right. So, again, just remember, when things happen, when your phone breaks, when maybe you have an argument with someone at work, maybe you answer a phone call that you know you could have sent to voicemail and it stresses you out and gives you anxiety, ask yourself, like, is this going to be the thing that derails me today, or is this going to just be a situation that I don't allow to be the thing that derails me? And of course, it's easier said than done. But like I told you the other day, I went to hit the gym and I noticed that it was trash and I started feeling anxiety and I just pushed through it, one foot in front of the other. And I did a workout and I felt better. So really work on identifying the little things in life that no longer have control over you. Whether it's a vice, a relationship, a situation, the way that you used to talk to yourself, an old habit that you just had trouble with. And celebrate the fact that it's no longer something that can control you. And then really work on identifying what is in your life right now that is still holding you back in a way. Maybe it's a habit that you have had a hard time kicking. Maybe it's the fact that you love sweets at night, so you always have 3 or 4 or 5 Oreos, or you feel like you can have that drink every night because you deserve it because you had a hard week at work. These little things are not going to destroy you. They're not. I'm not saying that you can never have a cookie at night. I'm not saying that you can't have a drink. These little things are not going to destroy you. But over time, these little things will become the things that hold you back from doing the big things. The reason why you can't wake up in the morning with energy and hit the gym. The reason why you only hit the gym 3 times a week instead of the 5 that you know you want to do. So the little things in our life right now that maybe still have a bit of a grasp on us. Whether it's the fact that you think that you have to say yes to your parents every time they invite you over for dinner. Whether it's the fact that you think that you have to outperform everyone at work, when in reality, you will outperform everyone at work when you start taking care of yourself, because you will perform at a higher level in every area of your life. Whether you bring work home, whether you keep keeping that friend around that you know is just a distraction. The little things in life that we have been able to take control over, be proud of yourself, acknowledge it, celebrate it, and then pay attention in life as well on the things that you can't yet let go, and then take action. Start slowly removing them from your life. Lower your action threshold in other areas. You may be using them to cope because we cope, but find something that you can replace it with. Negative habits, negative routines will not change unless you replace it with something positive, because it becomes muscle memory. It becomes a thing you do because you're used to it. It's your baseline. So we got to change the baseline. Maybe you go to TikTok every night at midnight. Guess what? Put that freaking phone away. Maybe you keep drinking every night. Guess what? Maybe don't buy beer this weekend. Find something else to do. Get rest. Celebrate the wins. Acknowledge the things that you are able to let go. Be proud of the fact that when something happens, it doesn't derail you. And you have more power over your life and you are in control. And I tell you once and I tell you every day, you have choice to be a freaking fighter jet or a hot air balloon, going whichever way the wind blows you. Or you can be intentional in your life. Like, none of you are here to be mediocre. None of you are here because you just want to get by in life. Everybody here is committed to change. Committed, not just interested. Because you understand what it looks like when you are at the other end. When you are at that place where you don't like who you are. And none of you are here because you don't like yourself. You are here because you love yourself. And I am proud of all of you. Thank you guys for your time. And that brings us to the end of another episode of the VetRise Podcast. If today's episode inspired you, made you think, or simply gave you hope, I have a small favor to ask. Share it with just one veteran or someone you think could benefit from my message. Your share could light a spark for them. You don't know who you might save. For more insights and to join our mission, follow my socials at JP the Veteran Coach and explore how we can rise together. Thank you for joining us, for being part of this journey, and for believing in the power of rising together. Until next time, keep pushing forward, keep rising, and never forget that we are stronger together. My name is Juan Perez, and thank you for your time.